Are you wondering how to travel to Spain from the United States? Then this is the perfect video for you. In this video, I'll cover what type of documentation required, the flight options, best time to visit, planning tips, and much more. So the first thing that you need to know on how to travel to Spain from the United States is about the documentation required, and you will need a valid American passport. It is recommended that it's valid for at least 6 months after your departure, but it's required that your passport is valid for 3 months beyond your departure date. The next thing that you need to know on how to travel to Spain from the United States is that you do not need a visa for tourist stays under 90 days. 90 days equals out to 3 months, so just know that if you're in Spain for more than 3 months at a time, you would need a visa after that. And the next tip on how to travel to Spain from the United States is that return ticket proof may be required. So if you're a United States citizen traveling to Spain, you must have sufficient funds for your trip and also a return airline ticket. And now for the next tip on how to travel to Spain from the United States is all about flight options. And we're going to talk about direct flights specifically with United. I love United Airlines. I have flown with them to and from Spain a bazillion gajillion times. This was me actually traveling to Madrid from Newark, going to the United Club Lounge. And I love United so much because they have such a great airport lounge at so many airports. And they also have an absolutely amazing credit card. I love my United Explorer card, and I will tell you all about it. So make sure you stick around till the end. So the next tip on how to travel to Spain from the US, other popular airlines outside of United Airlines include American Airlines, Delta Airlines, Air Europa, Iberia, and more. Majority of direct flights are available from major US cities such as New York City, New Jersey, like Newark Airport, Miami, Chicago, Los Angeles, and the main Spanish airports in Spain are Madrid, Barajas, Barcelona, El Prat. You guys have known that I'm in Tenerife for some time now, so Tenerife South Airport is the biggest one on that island, and Ibiza Airport, Mallorca Airport, etc., etc. The next thing that you should know on how to travel to Spain from the United States is that the flight time going to Spain from the United States usually takes about 7 hours if you're leaving from New York or Newark. And then coming from Spain to United States usually takes about 8 to 9 hours, depending on the departure city and the arrival city. And now the next topic of how to travel to Spain from the United States is going to be all about weather and all about the best times to visit. I get asked this all the time, so please pay attention. I'm going to preface this part of the video by saying it depends where you go in Spain, but I'm going to try to do my best by the whole country, by the whole peninsula, and also some of the islands even. Starting off with the 8 Spanish Canarian islands. So the weather in the Canarian islands, they're known as the islands of eternal spring. So you have 15 to 20 degrees Celsius, that's 59 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit in January. That is the coldest month of the year to go to Tenerife. Specifically, Tenerife is the biggest island of the Canary Islands, so just keep that in mind. All the islands have very similar temperatures. So moving on to the next part, we're going to go to the Spanish Peninsula, and we're going to be talking about Andalusia. For those who do not know, Andalusia is the southern part and the southern region of Spain. There it gets really hot. So for example, I would avoid that in the summer. So the reason why I would avoid Andalusia, such as Sevilla, is it gets insanely hot and it's not ideal to be a tourist or to be walking around and doing all that sightseeing in that heat. I would, however, recommend to visit Sevilla, Spain in the winter and early spring, but not any later than mid-April because it already starts to get really hot. To give you context, I've gone to Sevilla in mid-April, and it was already 95 degrees, and I actually did not go sightseeing that day because it was just way too hot. So that's Andalusia and Sevilla, which is in Andalusia. So just keep that in mind when planning your trip to Spain. The next region of Spain that we'll be talking about is Madrid, which is the capital of Spain. And Madrid also gets quite hot in the summer, so I would avoid it from June to middle of August. If you don't like crowds, a lot of locals in Madrid go away in August. So that could be a potential nice month, but it could be also really hot. But if you don't like crowds, that's something to keep in mind. And then outside of that, spring, early summer, fall, and winter are amazing to visit Madrid. Then you have the north of Spain, which is like Galicia, Asturias, País Vasco, and that I would recommend if you do not want rain to visit during the summer. You could maybe get lucky with end of spring, but it is risky up there in the north. Then you have the Balearic Islands, which include Ibiza, Mallorca, and Menorca. And there you have the hottest month, which is July, which is average highs of 30 degrees Celsius, which is like 90-ish Fahrenheit. And then you have the winter, which is the coldest month, January, average highs of 16. And then you have rain, which is the wettest month, which is October. So keep that in mind if you are planning a trip to Balearic Islands in Spain. And the next tip on how to travel to Spain from the United States has to do with the best times to visit, but has to do with peak tourist seasons, such as summer. So summer is peak tourist season, which comes with higher prices, which is June to August. So you might want to avoid that when traveling to Spain if you're trying to save money. Additionally, on the contrary, winter can be good for cheaper rates, except during holidays. So definitely keep that in mind. And it's also good to know that there are gloomy days during the winter in Spain, even though it's sunny Spain and everyone thinks there's sun every single day. Even places like Madrid during the winter does have its gloom. And the last travel tip that you should know on how to travel to Spain from the United States is all about planning. And I recommend that you should book a flight 3 to 4 months in advance for the best prices. Spain flight prices definitely vary, with 500 on the lower end and 1,000 plus on the higher end, round trip direct. And now, before you go, let me tell you why I love my United Explorer credit card so much. So I personally think this is a really fantastic travel credit card because you get so many perks that you will actually use. Starting off with, you get a free first checked bag when you book your flight reservation with your United Explorer card. Like, that is so amazing and such a big save, especially if you book basic economy, because with basic economy you don't get a checked bag, but with your Explorer card you do. The next reason why I love my United Explorer credit card is because they give you 2 United Club one-time passes per year. So you basically get to access this lounge for free 2 times a year and get to eat your face off before you go on a flight. Lounges are also super well stocked, super comfortable, and have a lot to offer. So definitely check those out if you get this credit card. The next reason why I love my United Explorer credit card is because you get up to $120 in global entry pre-check or Nexus fee credit, which is really nice. You can save while you also speed up the process with the travel. You also get 2 times miles on United purchases and 2 times miles on dining and hotels. And lastly, I love my United Explorer credit card because I love traveling to Spain from the US with United. I hope you enjoy learning how to travel to Spain from the US. As always, it's best to know before you go. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.